Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us for this special live session. I'm Itzik Amiel, and together with my friend Olivia Kung, we are excited to welcome you first to 2025 and to kick our first IPBA standard episode of 2025. This is collaborative broadcast that brought to you by the IPBA and the Switch. And in this series, Olivia and I will interview an international legal leaders out of the amazing community of the IPBA members and share new insights, ideas, stories, and strategies to inspire you and help you grow your professional practice or in your career, even in your life if you want. So you're invited, my friends. Olivia, my dear friend, how did 2025 started for you?
Great. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year for you as well. I mean, you had the New Year started before us, so you have a little bit extra time for us here in Europe and other places in the world because you have earlier New Year than us, right? And you celebrate soon another New Year than
Yeah,
us.
in fact, we're going to have a Chinese New Year soon as well.
Exactly. Which one is this year? What is the symbol of this year?
Snake.
Oh
I
my
am in
God.
the year of the snake. So it's my year.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thanks, Olivia. This episode is titled The Human Side of Lawyering. And I know a lot of you sent email like, curious, what do you mean by it? You have to wait with us. But again, if you are with us, type in, let us know who you are, where you're dialing from, what we want to know, but also our guests want to know that we are here not alone, that you're listening, you are with us. So type your name, don't be shy. Let us know who you are, where you're dialing from, and I'll be happy to share it with the rest of the community. And of course, if you have questions to our guests during the show, make sure you type it in. Let us know because we would love to ask your question to our guest. You know, in law school, of course, all of you agree, they teach us about precedent, procedure, and the perfect argument. But what they don't teach us, what they cannot teach us, I should say, is how personal journeys, our vulnerabilities, and yes, even our struggles become our greatest asset in our profession. So today we have a remarkable guest who have not just succeeded in law, but have redefined what success looks like. She has proven that you don't have to check your humanity at the door to be a powerful advocate. In fact, it's a quite the opposite. Do you agree, Olivia?
Absolutely.
Great. And I think we're gonna since more gonna hear about it. I think, but Olivia, you are a similar person like that, also did and also brought humanity to the table. And I assume you identify yourself a lot with what our guest is gonna share with us today, correct?
Yep. In
Short
fact, the
answer.
today's guest is what is my sister, Melva. And there's a reason why I deliberately invite her to this live session. It's because I think she is one of the most creative lady I've met. And she's so full of life. And if you see her, you just cannot stop feeling happy. She makes you so happy. So I would love to interview her.
Yeah, that's a call to all of you there who are upset who doesn't salute Jonas. That's exactly the time when you're gonna get the boost to have a nice life. We're waiting today and gonna see soon our guest. But here's what's fascinated me, Olivia, about today's conversation. In a profession really that often really demands we wear armor, our guest, I think, has discovered that her greatest professional victories came from when she dared to be human first, lawyer second. And for those of you listening, by the way, whether you are a seasoned partner, a rising associate, or a law student wondering if you can make it without losing yourself, this episode is for you. So I promise you, you should hang up with us this coming 30 minutes because you're going to learn a lot. Because we're going to explore how personal decision can become professional strength, why vulnerability might be your most powerful leadership tool, and how embracing your authentic self can actually build stronger client relationship, and even why the future of law belongs to those who bring the whole self to work. It's not the past. And for that reason, we have the honor to have the insightful episode of our special friend advocate Melva Valdez. You want to stay with us if you want to discover how to grow your practice or career in an authentic way, but the human side of lawyering. So before we invite Melva to join us, let us give us, we love to do it always behind people's back. Let's give you a short, some highlights about Melva. So Melva Valdez has served as a partner at Belo Valdez Esugia Law Offices in the Philippines. Her distinguished career whose role as such a chairman, managing partner, enormous directorship and a secretarial position in prominent organizations like Keppel Philippines Holding, Servia Philippines Inc., and then more than that. And she has been prominent speaker at international conferences. In addition to that, she also published numerous articles on business immigration law and gender diversity in the legal profession, showcasing her commitment to advancing the legal field and promoting inclusive practices. Mela specialized in commercial law, merger and acquisition, securities, and immigration laws, and she has been IPBA member since 1996, and also immediate past chair of the membership committee, as well as the past chair of the women business law. And I'm sure we're going to hear more. But without further ado, Olivia, I think we should bring Melva now. That's the time. So welcome, Melva. Well, thanks for joining us.
Good evening, everyone from my hood. I'm from Manila, and Happy New Year to everyone. And thank you for that very for that introduction, which I don't think I truly deserve at this point. I'm just an ordinary one. I'm just one of the ordinary lawyers here in Manila, navigating through my journey as through practice, and I'm also a mother and a wife.
Thank you for adding this. I'm sure that's add value to a lot of us, and I'm sure you guys will judge if she's not. She's humbling herself right now because I think she deserves every single thing, how human being she is. So again, thank you very much, Melva, for joining us and for your time, valuable time. But here's my advice to all of you there who are joining us: settle in, take notes if you'd like. But again, you want to remember those things. But more importantly, open your mind to a different way of thinking about success in law. This is what about to happen to you. And I want you to be open minded and not judge, just listen up. Because today's conversation is not just about being better lawyers, it's about being better humans who practice law. Let's begin with the moment that changed everything for your guest, Melva. Olivia, the floor is yours. Go for it.
Okay, let me start off first. Okay, Melva, the first day I met Melva, she has already been talking about her daughter a lot. And she keeps saying, "Oh, my daughter is here, my daughter is here." Apparently, her daughter has been going to the IPBA for many years since
Since she
baby.
was 2 years
So
old.
she must be the oldest member. Anyways, um, Melva is also very open about the fact that her daughter was adopted. So,
Mhm.
and she mentioned to me before that when we were doing the woman business lawyers session that when we were talking about single parenting, she said, "Oh, let's do one on adoption as well." So now is your moment. I want to know more about this adoption. So you made a life changing decision to adopt your daughter. Can you share with us? uh, Through that moment when you first held your daughter and knew she was meant to be a child, and how has the adoption, becoming a mother, shared your approach to life and life?
Mhm. Well, it was the most beautiful feeling that I ever had when I first held my daughter. She was a day old, in fact, when we adopted her. From a while I was in the negotiation table for a deal, someone called me that there's a baby which is up who is up for adoption. That is, as I told you before, Olivia, that is after praying to Our Lady of Lourdes, because I'm a Roman, my family is a Roman Catholic. So I've to our prayed Lady of Lourdes that if she can intercede for us and give us, specifically I asked for a daughter, and I promised Our Lady of Lourdes that I will name her after her, which is Saint Bernadette at that point. So 1 month after my husband and I came back from Lourdes, France, I got a call. I was in the middle, as I said, I was in the middle of a negotiation that there's a baby up for adoption. So I called my husband, and from there, we went and saw my daughter, our daughter, and we couldn't go home without um, bringing her home, so to speak. But then there was still some logistics, some legal considerations. So finally, we were able to bring her home the following day. And when I saw her at home, because um, the truth is that it was my husband and my mother-in-law's house help who actually brought her home because I had to close the deal at a point in my life. So when I saw her, I really cried. It was, I said, she's really God sent. She's very special because perhaps, as I said, as I would always rationalize the reason why I was able to, we weren't able to have a natural born daughter is that we were destined to help other kids. And with that, I think there's no difference anyway between an adopted child to me and having a natural one. The feeling is the same, the love is the same. At the end of the day, it's how you nurture the child. That's how, and I think I'm right because my daughter now, our daughter now is 25 years old. She finished international studies major in Nihongo. So she speaks Japanese and she writes in kanji too. So as to how being a mother has changed, has shaped me as a lawyer, I became more human. I became more motherly. I was in the law firm, which was dominated at the time by male lawyers, male partners. And from out of the blue, I had to step up and be a mother, not just to my daughter, but to my entire firm, to our people, to our staff. And to this day, I am that person. I play that role in this office. I'm here in the office up to now, and I play that role. People come to me when they need help, when they seek help. Our staff come to me when they seek help. Before, I was kind of indifferent. I would say I'm just a human. Before I had a child, but then after I became more understanding. I do understand how mothers felt. I do understand that children, family comes first before lawyering, and that doesn't make anyone less of a lawyer by giving priority to his or her family. So that's about how I think my daughter brought some kind of softness and empathy, especially empathy on how other people think, on how other our people in the office think. In fact, just to give you a little background, last Sunday, remember we had our preps last week, but last Sunday I was so tired. I came from the province, then I got a text message from one of our people. His father was in fact stabbed to death, and the mother is a domestic helper, and he reached out to me asking me if I could help him bring his mom back to Manila just so she for the last time could attend the funeral, could see the father. And so I I was very tired, but then I thought that this person needed help, so I reached out to a friend of mine from college who's a retired ambassador already, and asked if he knew the Philippine ambassador to that country where the domestic helper was working. And so he guided me. I wrote the Philippine ambassador, and then that was Sunday, and today is only Wednesday, right? Oh, Tuesday. Is it
Tuesday. Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Last night, I got a call from the office of the ambassador in that foreign country that the mother could already leave and come back to the Philippines. And
Wow.
after that, I cried also. I was able to help in my own little way a family who's been in so much distress, and that I think the mother is on her way now to Manila. So
Wow.
that's how I think being a parent, for that matter, has shaped me, has helped me a lot through my journey as a lawyer. As I said, empathy to for other people, empathy to one's feelings, empathy to feelings of clients, especially also if I relate it to lawyering. I am more understanding if a client is very demanding at this point. I always sit back and say, instead of getting mad or getting impatient or whatever, what kind of negative feelings there, I may want to give back to that client. I would normally think of that he may be undergoing something. He's under so much stress. So instead of lashing out to him, what I do is I calm him down, because when the client and the lawyer are both calm, it's easier to come up with results, to have results, positive results delivered. So that's how I apply it to my practice. And I would say that in my 39 years of practice, I still handle clients who have been with our firm for 50 years, for 56 years, which I inherited in fact from my mentors before in this office, and to this day they're still, and now the, even up to now that I'm already trying to download to the younger ones because I'm not getting any younger anymore. But still, the clients would look at me now as more of a friend that they could run to anytime that they needed something urgent. And I'm still happy doing that up to now.
Great. Thanks so much for sharing with us your inspiring personal story, Melva. I mean, what struck me about your story is how it mirror what many of us face in the legal profession, taking calculated risks that
Oh, yeah.
transform not just our life, but our practicing law. But speaking about transformation, you were the first female, as you mentioned to us, partner in your firm. You literally made history, as you could say. So I would like to know from you, Melva, is what were the unexpected challenges you faced really as being the first female partners? And what message would you share with our young women lawyers who are listening to us right now who are told they need to choose between ambition and authenticity?
Okay. Well, I think there was no choice on the part of the male partners of this firm to bring me up to the partnership because there were very few of us women lawyers then in this firm. So, um, how I navigated myself to that role, in fact, is well, it's also sheer hard work, but most of all, I think human relationship. I could I when they since I was amongst boys, I thought that being one of them to a certain extent without losing my femininity, if that is, and that is possible, I tell you, is one way of you also gaining their trust, gaining their confidence, of course, aside from competence. Let's not also forget that competence is plays a role. So that's how I navigated. First, I was lucky, in fact, that I did not experience a lot of discrimination. In fact, even when I was the only woman partner at the time, um, in fact, it was an advantage to me, to a certain extent, because I am that type of person who would say my piece anytime. I don't also mince words, but I don't know if they're, they just try to understand because I was the only woman lawyer, but I didn't really care. At least they didn't discriminate me. They didn't shove aside my ideas, and they respected me. So it was fine.
Thank you very much for sharing.
Mhm.
I mean, it's fascinating how authenticity become our greatest asset, and you could see, you don't see it as a big deal, but it is even in a professional, really sometimes push us to fit, certain molds if you want. Again, if you have a question to Melva during the session, please type it in the chat
Yeah.
behind, because we would love to ask your question to Melva. And feel free to let us know who you are, where you're dining from. Again, to those of you joining us, yes, we are live. We are with Melva Valdez, talking about the human side of lawyering, and you want to stick with us because there's a lot more interesting coming in your way. And now it's time to talk about legacy, not just about law, but about life. And Olivia, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I've got another question for Melva. I'm very interested in your daughter. Well, during your preparation call, you mentioned that you have made a very powerful statement that you never stop working to show your daughter the importance of self reliance. So,
Sure.
how do you balance teaching her about professional dedication whilst also ensuring that she knows her worth isn't just tied to productivity?
Mhm. And so, as I told you during our preps meeting, there were times in the past when I thought that I would like to be a full-on mother to her because she came quite late in the day. So I tried. In fact, I tried for about two, 2 to 4. I think 4 months at the most. But then I said, I again reflected on what I was doing. Of course, my husband is also a lawyer, as I told you. But I reflected and said, perhaps it's better for me to work, to go back to work, because at the end of the day, I don't want her to feel or to believe or to have that kind of a mindset that women should stay at home all the time. She has to be self-reliant, she has to be independent. But of course that is balanced, but maybe the best insofar as balancing productivity, and so that as the only measure of success versus being authentic is concerned, is I always tell her that, because I do practice it, I have some ambitions in life, otherwise I wouldn't be where I am now. But then I always sit back and say, I don't want to step on other people's toes, and that is something that we have inculcated in my daughter all along. You may want to go to you, of course it's very important that you also um, produce or be self-reliant or be self-sufficient, but please be human. If there is somebody ahead of you, let it be, unless meritoriously you need to go ahead. That's how it is. That's how life should be. I mean, I will not wait also in the background all the time, because it's not correct. If I know that, if you you get a step forward from another person because you perform well, better than, based on the assessments of your superiors, that's fine, for as long as you do your job. But doing a shortcut way of doing things, it's something that I don't want to do, and which we have told our daughter also. It's also good that my husband and I share the same values when it comes to family, when it comes to career. So the support is there. And our daughter to this day, I think, knows that. And also, we always tell her that, and we practice her that, of course, we work a lot, 6 days a week sometimes. We, as lawyers, we spend long hours. But then Sunday is a sacred day. It's for the family. No amount of, especially my husband, he's very particular on that. I still sometimes go a little bit off guard because I'm more sociable than him. He's really a very introverted person. He works hard and then he goes on. But Sundays, he would sometimes remind me nicely, in a very diplomatic way, if I say I have to go with some of my friends and their only free time is Sunday. But he would say, isn't Sunday our family day? And I would then realize, oh my God, I said, but he will not get mad. He has his way of telling me that, hey, Sunday is for us, remember? So that's how it is. So I think we have inculcated that also in Cara. My daughter is Cara, as you know, Olivia, because she doesn't go out on Sundays except to be with us, to hear mass, to attend church, and then we will have lunch, and then we will have quiet afternoons at home. Especially, except on certain occasions where in families, our family, we have both small families from my side and from my husband's side will invite us for lunch, for example, but that's still family day. But other than that, for for other friends or even for weddings, in fact, I will not accept any more invitations on Sundays, because that's really reserved. That's the only day, in fact, out of 7 days of the week that the focus is full on in the family. So that's how it is. Simple. You should know your priorities. You should know when your priorities will shift at some point also, or at certain days or at certain time. Then you go. There you go. So that's how you balance your time, how you balance your mindset, how you balance your relationships.
Thank you very much, Mel. I mean, what you're
Totally
speaking
agree.
to us, it reminds me of something Maya Angelou said. Once said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you make them feel." And it's exactly the way you live your life. But Melva, you found such a unique way to weave your heritage into the professional identity. As we all know, those who met you knows that even very well close by. And I remember when Olivia told me about it. I mean, it's fascinating how you combine your love of fashion with promoting indigenous, Filipino textile and craftsmanship. So my question, our question to you is here is how did the passion develop and how does it really connect to your identity, both as a lawyer and as a Filipino powerful woman?
Okay. When I was a young when I was a child, I lived in my lived my childhood during the days when um our mothers and our mothers, our grandmothers in the Philippines would still wear the traditional Filipiniana outfits, or ternos, we call it ternos, the ones with butterfly sleeves, in attending special occasions. All right, so I saw the photos of my mom, I saw the photos of my grandmother wearing those beautiful ternos, not necessarily expensive, not necessarily designers, made by Filipino designers, but they're very beautiful. And the fabrics were also very native, as I would say, or very Filipino. So I thought at one point when I was already a lawyer, that how come this tradition died down? Then one day, from out of the blue, I I joined, or I visited a Manila Fame Festival, a Manila Fame show, which actually showcased, up to this stage, it showcases Filipino talents, Filipino products. It happens once a year here in Manila. Filipino products, Filipino designers, creations. So, and then I met somebody by the name of Len Kabili at that point. She that was maybe about 20 years ago, or more. So I approached her. In fact, it so happened that she graduated also from the University of the Philippines, I learned later. So I bought some of her stuff, of her outfits, in that Manila Fame trunk show. Then I contacted her because I saw in one of the photos that she has this beautiful jeans, actually, which is fully embroidered by Filipino indigenous peoples. So I contacted her, and then I said, I want something like that, because I really love clothes. I'm that type of person who would, when I get stressed, I want to have a new new dress, or even a pair of shorts would make me happy, so to speak. So I approached her, and then at the time she was also starting on this journey of promoting Philippine fashion, tapping indigenous peoples, in fact, to do their traditional embroidery, which is basically handmade. So I approached her, and then she was very enthusiastic about it. And she made me want she made that pair of jeans for me. She even went to my office for my fitting at that point. So I was so happy, and then I said, why don't I try in my own little way to advocate again the wearing of Filipino dresses for women, or even men for that matter, for special occasion, or even on for everyday wear. So I started buying Filipino clothes from local talents, from local designers, and then that started it. Right, so I didn't join any organization. I didn't form any organization for lack of material time. In fact, so I was just doing it quietly on my own, from the point of view of a lawyer, because most lawyers before, in fact, in the Philippines, would wear suits for hearings. That's suits for hearings, for board meetings, and all special occasions. So I started wearing a Filipiniana, terno, or terno tops at that point. And then one day, maybe about 10 years ago, the local women's organization in the Philippines, the UP Women Lawyers Circle, in fact, invited me to be more active, because I've been very active. Sylvette was the president then, Olivia. Another IPBA member, Sylvette, she made me treasurer, and she wanted me to raise funds. So I collaborated. I spearheaded the collaboration between the group with a another group of Filipino of organizer for Filipino designers called Katutubo. All right. So that also picked up that event, actually, aside from the funds that we raised for that organization, also encouraged a lot of Filipino women lawyers to wear Filipinianas already. So, but at that point, when I was trying to promote Philippine um, clothes made by Filipino designers, even accessories for that matter, and even bags. I was posting like crazy on IG, on FB, every single dress. I think Olivia would see that. Every single dress that I wear every day. Just to advocate, some would think, "Oh my God, she's very
I
self-centered." But
saw that.
I don't really care. I didn't care anymore because at the back of my mind, I have a purpose for doing that. So that caught up. And to add to that, in fact, during the pandemic, Olivia, I think I haven't mentioned this, and it's like during the pandemic, um, there were, the Filipino designers had nothing to do at that point. There were no, the creatives industry for that matter. So one day they invited me to join them in a Zoom meeting. These are all designers, these are all creatives. It was in the middle of the pandemic, and they we brainstormed on what they can do at that point. That there were no events to do, there were there were no parties, so they couldn't create clothes for people. And I helped them establish the Philippine Fashion Coalition.
Oh,
So I helped them register with the Securities and Exchange Commission. So it's a thriving organization up to now. But then I said, I think it's a time for me to step back a little because they are already self-sufficient in functions. They function so well. And besides, that's not my core competence anymore, what to do with them insofar as their business is concerned. So that also triggered it. And from that kind of an organization, I made friends with a very, very kind-hearted um, fashion designer, Filipino fashion designer. If you notice, Olivia, most of the clothes that I wear nowadays are made by one Filipino designer, and he is JC Buendia. His aesthetics are very clean. If you look on my IG, most of the clothes that I wear now are made by JC. He also is a designer with a very big heart. In fact, he doesn't know how to charge, but he's already a guru in his own right. That's how he is. He's very kind-hearted. He doesn't take advantage. I love him so much because when from out of the blue, if I'm stressed out, I would say, Tracy, can you make me this dress? And he would just initially he would just stay quiet, but nowadays he's bold enough to say, is there any occasion where you're going? Because he knew that, and he knows that I could be very impulsive also at times, just so when I'm stressed out. So I love him too so much, and he is such a kind person. So I have friends all over in the fashion industry in the Philippines, and that's something that I also enjoy doing on the side to join them. Like for example, if they we have this terno conference every year, sometimes I get invited to attend, which I love also doing because I am able to wear a terno gown, the butterfly sleeves gown. So simple things in life. So that's
thank you
how
very
it
much,
is.
Melva. That you're listening to us. I mean, just one listen. Even the men who listen to us, this is called, by the way, grooming. What you just hear is not just for the sake of listening, because that story showed you also personal branding. When you groom yourself, then for ladies, they're not gonna wear things that itchy, doesn't comfortable. The big thing get you go confidence, get you in a good mood, because then you can influence and change everybody's mind and help others. So I mean, that's called grooming, and that's the reason fashion and the way you clothe is very important to your personality to attract the right people into your life, to your client, etc., etc. So
Mhm.
it's more than just fashion, I'm sure, and
No,
I'm sure
no, no.
Olivia also agree with me about that. I mean,
Mhm.
almost at the end of our conversation, Melva, and that's a good opportunity as we always give everybody to give attention to the people who deserve it within the IPBA global community. So it's your time and to answer. If we ask you right now, as we're asking you, who are the two, three people you want to thank in IPBA? Who are them and why? And if you can give us the answer in short.
Okay. First and foremost, I think I would like to thank the my mentor in the firm who actually brought me to IPBA. I was a very young lawyer then in 1996 when he, together with our boss, Attorney Bengzon, and this I'm referring to Attorney Jimenez. In fact, he was the one who introduced IPBA to me. Um, he brought me he allowed me to attend the conferences with him without babying me. I tell you, once we're in the conference, he would leave me alone, so I have to find my way through people. and I love it that way. So that's why I'm very grateful to him. The other one who influenced me a bit is not from my firm. In fact, he's from another firm in the Philippines, but he was very fatherly. This is no other than Teddy Regala, who was a former IPBA president also. So he was the one who actually, because I was just a regular member, then I became vice chair of this and that committees, but that's not something. But then when he approached me if I wanted to be the jurisdictional counsel for the Philippines in the IPBA, that actually jump started my career as an officer, as a chairman, etc. of the organization. Yeah, and thirdly, it's all the people in the IPBA that I would like to thank for whom I have made friends with through the years. There are a lot of them, and I continue to be friends with them to this day, and for that I'm very grateful because that's also giving me a wider circle of friendship, understanding the different cultures, imbibing and trying to see the differences and no, but not when you see the differences in culture, but being able to adjust to each and every culture is something that I also love. I'm very grateful for.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm sure people will come soon to you in the next conference of IPBA to let them know that you listen to us and to thank you back, Melva, for being such an amazing human being. Anything else, Olivia, you want to ask Melva before we say goodbye to Melva?
Yeah, I'm coming to the Southeast Asia conference in February, and I'm looking for someone who can get me a dress to take pictures of the Filipino dress.
Don't worry,
Great.
you will be in
Where
good
to
hands, my
find it?
friend.
I have,
Goodness
I
dear.
think I have a thing about dressing in everyone's traditional clothes. I feel like it's something where you can feel what if you were somebody else, and
Mhm.
that's the part that I like. And you see me nowadays dressing in all sorts of traditional clothes. In
Yeah,
fact,
I
I
think
think I
it's so
went to
fun.
Thailand. I decided to be the queen, okay? And
Yeah.
then I dressed in all these traditional Chinese costumes in
Yes,
different centuries because I just feel like, see what it feels like to be in a different century. It's
so fun.
so much fun, I have to say. So and then I thought, I've been to Philippines quite many times. How come I haven't done that yet? So yes, I am researching.
Very soon you don't do that, Olivia.
Next week, I'm going to do that. In fact, I have a college reunion. It's going to be held outside of Metro Manila, outside of Manila, in a province called Batangas. And there's an ancestral house there where you can have photos using the old traditional Filipino dresses, and that is part of the our reunion activity. So I'll send you a photo there. So I'll bring you there.
Definitely. Yeah.
Amazing stuff. My dear friend, as we wrap up today's conversation, there are at least three powerful lessons I think we learned that stand out. One, authenticity is not a liability. It's your superpower in connecting with clients, with your colleagues, with everybody else. Second, success in law doesn't require sacrificing your humanity. You heard from Melva, it's enhanced by embracing it. And number three, our personal journeys and passions make us better lawyers, not distracted ones. So listen carefully to your own journey and follow it. Remember that Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor said, a different perspective is sometimes more important than brilliant legal thinking. I think that says a lot about the
Agree.
beautiful session with Meva. So Meva, last thing we want to do is we want to thank you very much for this. It was fantastic every year. The time passed crazily fast. We know that. I know everybody loved it. We also again, those who are listening, don't leave us because we want to talk behind Melva back a little bit more to summarize it. But we want to thank you, Melva, again.
I feel honored, in fact, Itzik and Olivia, for being here, for being invited into this community, which I'm also enjoying a lot.
Thank you very much, Melva. And we'll
Thank
see you
you,
soon in the next
sister.
conference.
Thank you, sister. See you. Thanks, Itzik. I'll see you.
Thank you. So yeah, we stayed again, Olivia, alone to summarize our nice session. So, what is your reflection after listening to Olivia to Melva?
It's fun. She's super fun. I, I
Exactly it.
think
I think
I
everybody
think Melva
experiences like
is
it.
she's an icon. I mean, I think everyone knows her. She has been IPBA for so long, and she's one of those people who never put up a face that's like I'm really powerful. Those kind of face. She's always down to earth and very friendly to everybody. So, yeah, it's something I think a lot of people should follow. Yeah, because this is something a lot of people when they get up to the top of their career, they becomes very snobbish, and Melva is not, and that's what I like.
Absolutely. And I think it's actually a very good example of successful people are very approachable people. If you see somebody
Yeah,
that you
I
cannot approach, it looks senior, probably small people want you to think they're big. But successful people are very approachable people. And I have no doubt that Melva's story really helped us, Olivia, to remember that great lawyers don't just know the law, they understand the human heart. And I think it's not, we're not embarrassed to talk about it anymore. Because the law is not just about procedure, I said to you before, and procedure is about people. When we bring our whole self to our practice, we don't just build better cases, we build better connection, we build better career, and ultimately a better justice system. And that's what we need after all in our world. And people like
I
Melva
think
show
I
us the
think
way
the
to it.
word I think the
Well,
word empathy is very important. Empathy. It's in fact it makes you a better lawyer if you have empathy, because that's the only way you can understand how the client feels and what the client want. So um it makes you a better lawyer that way. In fact, empathy is very important.
for sure. And without the thing that you just said about Olivia, human, listen up because you really need to learn to have empathy. Women have it much more in the character by nature, but because as we heard the story of Melva being a mother. But we as men actually hiding it, learn to use your empathy better in your practice and you'll be super successful lawyers. So now, our friends, it's time to take action to implement what you learned in this lesson. I suggest listen to this replay again because this time with a pen and a note because there's so much to learn from Melva. We have been here with Melva Valdez. She's a partner of Melva Valdez with our law offices in the Philippines and a wonderful member and supporter of the IPBA. And you know what I'll do at the end? I want to thank you, Olivia. Thank you very, very much for again a joyful session. We both, I think, enjoyed every time and enjoy learning from so many people and so many stories. And to start 2025 with this episode full of new insight ideas is a pleasure. So thank you very much, Olivia, for that.
You're welcome.
And Olivia and myself want to thank each one of you for joining us. Thank you for being with us. See everyone our next standout live episode with another prominent member of IPBA with new insights, strategies, and ideas to grow your practice and your career. Until next time, have a wonderful 2025 and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now. Bye, everybody.
Bye.